Good morning, students. Can you able to see the PPT screen? Naveen? Okay, shall we start the class? Any doubt in the previous class portion? Ahmed, any doubt? Rahul?
Ahmad has not joined it.
No.
Okay, in the previous class, we were discussing about key process areas. So how the key process areas are associated with each and every level of CMMI, capability maturity model. So in continuation with that, so if you take the CMMI and the various KPAs followed, maintenance of key process areas, say if you take the first level initial, we are not following any KPAs. The second level repeatable, we are following the various KPAs, key performance assessments like requirements management, software maintenance planning, software maintenance tracking, subcontract management, quality assurance, configuration management, transfer to maintenance management, problem management, support management, organization of maintenance function, role of the interviewing around the maintenance. So these are the major areas we need to follow, and it need to be modified and it should be updated frequently. So I think at this point also we discussed the various levels of CMMI and the focus areas and the key process areas. In level 1 initial, no KPAs. Second level repeatable, software project planning, software configuration management. Third level defined process definition, training programs and peer reviews plays an important role. The same way in the fourth level managed, we are focusing on quantitative process metrics, software quality management. Fifth level, it's optimization. So we are focusing on process change management, technology change management, and defect prevention. So I think these slides we already, with respect to KPAs, these are the points we discussed. That is a CMMI model following the various KPAs. So we started with again, what is quality standards we are focusing on. These are the 14 topics we are going to discuss. We started with what is quality standards. Then we discussed the basic concepts of ISO 9000 and 9001. Then we discussed CMMI, Six Sigma, and development of CMMI, and the various KPAs followed in CMMI. So the quality standards in software engineering and the various, what is the definition of quality standard with respect to third party resources and in government organizations, as well as in any software development institute. Then we discussed what is when it is originated and what are the various versions of ISO available, the history of ISO and the various modifications and upgrades, ISO quality standards, the process of ISO certification, the various stages and steps like sending the application, pre-assessment, and document review and adequacy of audit, compliance audit, registration, continued inspection, and the major modifications and the slogans followed in ISO 9001. Say what you do and say what you do and do what you say. Continuous improvement and the results of orientation with an emphasis on leadership and risk management, adoption of plan, do's. Then we discussed the various versions of ISO 9000 with respect to software engineering and software development, like ISO 9001 quality systems, and ISO 9000.3. It focuses on development, supply, maintenance of software. ISO 9004.2. It focuses on quality management and quality system elements of Part 2. The history of ISO. What are the major revisions it taken? Then the ISO 9001 with respect to PDCA, like plan, do, check, and act. Then we started discussing about CMMI Six Sigma model. So what is capability maturity model integration? And it is proposed by SCI, Software Engineering Institute. It's a framework. In ISO, if you go for ISO certification, you will get pass or fail alone. But if you go for CMMI, you will get the grading, whether we are in the level 1, level 2, or level 3, like that. Then we discussed the 5 stages of CMMI model and what are the main focus and key process areas associated with each level of CMMI, and the major aspects and key elements of CMMI. Then we discussed the key process areas of various stages of CMMI model. Then the next topic is with respect to KPAs, key process assessment areas. So here again, we started with what is CMMI, why we need CMMI, the development of CMMI model, and the key process areas with respect to 5 levels. And the various versions of CMMI, version 1.1, 1993, and version 2, 1997, and version 1.2, 2001, version 1.2, services 2007. The levels of CMMI and the process areas of CMI. And what is key process areas? Each KPA identifies a cluster of activities. So we'll have a set of activities when performed collectively achieve a set of goals. So you will have collection of activities to reach an goal. KPAs may be considered to be the requirements for achieving the particular maturity level. So if you go with the KPAs, we'll achieve we can progress from level 1 to level 2, level 2 to level 3, like that. And if you want to know the major difference between ISO and the CMMI model, the ISO model is based on prescriptive. So it will have its own predefined aspects, but the CMMI is descriptive. So prescriptive in the sense we'll have the keys and objectives. Here we'll have the descriptive. We need to undergo the entire process. The standard organization must comply. So if you have the standards, if you comply with the rules and regulations, then only we'll get the certification. Here, model must be tailored to organizations or business environment. So it can apply to different environments. The roles and responsibilities and KPAs will be different for different organizations. And here looks at the process, existence, execution, not a goodness. So the process should be there. We have to execute the process. It may be good or bad. It is second part. Expects process to make sense to organization. Whatever process we are following, that should make some impact on the organization. Requires process improvement activities. So we need to improvise the content each and every from short term to long term. Focused process improvement of business practices. We have to improve the process in all aspects of business. Focused on quality management system. Here requires tailoring of processes to project needs. So the quality management system plays an important role here. Here we are projecting on processes to project needs. According to the needs of the project, we can change the processes, and we can improvise the content. So here the specific to software development intended for most industries and used in USA, less widely elsewhere, and recognized and accepted in most countries. It's widely used, provides a detailed and specific definition of what is required. Here signifies concepts, principles, and safeguards the place. Access on 5 levels. Here we have 5 levels. It is only one level. Here we have the level can be approximately 2 to 3. Here I will get the certification equivalent to 9000.3. Relevant to software development process. Here stabilizes the customer supplier relationship. So here the certification is to establish a goodwill among the customer and the suppliers. No time limit on certification. Here certification valid for 3 years. So if you are getting for ISO certification, it's valid for only 3 years. Every 3 years we need to upgrade. And if you are a CMMI Sigma certified, it's lifelong. No ongoing audit. Here audits may be written for spot checks during the lifetime of the certificate. So once you got the certification, anytime they will come for checking, validating, and inspecting. Here no ongoing audit. One time, it's a one-time process. So as we were discussing about key process areas of CMMI, in level 2 we are following. We are mainly focusing on requirements management, project planning, project tracking, subcontract management, quality assurance, and configuration management. Level 3 defined focuses on training programs, software project engineering. Here managed focuses on software quality management, optimized focuses on technology change management and process change management. So any doubt with respect to key process areas of CMMI?
No.
So the next topic is requirements management. So this requirements management also we saw in the key process areas. So now we are going to discuss the topics like requirements management, software project engineering, change management, process change management, defect prevention, configuration management. So all those topics are based on key process areas. So if you take what is requirements management and software project tracking and oversighting, so these are all the major areas we need to consider along with the CMMI model. So what is requirements management means? I think in software engineering itself, you might have studied functional requirements and non-functional requirements. So the requirements analysis, requirements elicitation process plays an important role in any software project development. So here the approach is based on eliciting the various requirements, organizing and documenting the requirements of the system and the process that establishes and maintains agreement between the customer and the project team on the changing requirements of the system. So while going for any requirements management process, so while before developing the project itself, we'll state these are the specifications or these are the software requirements. So once you state the requirements that should be implemented in your project, once the software elicitation process is made, that should be available in your, that should be completely implemented in your project. So if you take the requirements definition and management, what we will do? So first we'll take the strategic operational demand of the organization. So while preparing any requirements specification for any project, the organization strategic plan, the rules and regulations and policies will be the base for any requirements specification. It should not violate the organization's strategic operational demand. So based on that, we are creating the elicitation, software elicitation. The elicitation is based on the various techniques, stakeholders needs. Here the stakeholder means the programmers, developers, management, customers, shareholders, dealers. So everyone will be taken into consideration. Then the system boundaries. So what is the boundary? What is the framework? Within that, we have to create the elicitation. Then the glossary of terms will be identified. So based on that, we will go for the analysis. In analysis, we will analyze the risk factors, system risk, technical risk, political risk, other community related risk. So everything should be analyzed. Then based on that, the estimation will be done, how much time, cost we need. Based on that, we'll go for a specification. We'll create the software specification. So SP or a software project specification. So here it will contain the detailed requirements, business model scenarios, use case models, and the prototypes will be clearly stated in specification. So based on the analysis and specification, we'll go for the validation. The validation is done through the reviews, sign-offs, and baselines. So the agreement, review process, all those things will take place. Then it comes to the management, where they will storage, link, trace, measure, audit, report, document, and the other factors will be taken into consideration. If you take the software requirements management, it is a tool allows to capture, trace, analyze, and manage the changes of to information. Say while creating any project, we can make use of the RM tool. So it is a tool, or we can say it is an aid. Through that, we can capture, analyze, manage the changes that we can going to implement in our project. So it's based on the documents of requirements, collection of requirements, structuring of requirements. So first we need to collect the requirements. Then we have to structure it according to the project. Classification of requirements, very high important, low important, risk-based, everything should be classified. Assuring the consistency of the requirements, whether the requirements are as per the norms, whether it is considerable or not. And partitioning of the requirements, tracking of the requirements, testing of the requirements, and documenting of the requirements. So all those things will come into requirements management. Say the requirements management is performed from a centralized location for better team collaboration. It provides traceability by linking requirements to design items. Say it's based on test plans, test cases, the test shoot, everything. Say we'll have TP, TC, TB, and TS. So what is requirements management means? Because the requirements are things to which the system being built must transform and conformance to some set of requirements that defines the success or failure of a project. It makes sense to find out what the requirements are and write them down, organize them, and track them in the event they change. Once the requirements are fixed, based on that only we can go for upgradation, modification. And if you want to make any changes based on the requirement specification only, we will do the upgradation. It's stated another way, requirements management is a systematic approach to eliciting, organizing, documenting the requirements of the system. So it is a way of eliciting, organizing, and documenting. A process that establishes and maintains agreement between the customer and the project team. So based on the requirements only, the agreement between the end user and the organization who is going to develop the project will be taken. The management is more appropriate description of the activities involved, and its accuracy emphasizes the importance of tracking changes to maintain agreements between stakeholders and the project team. So based on the requirement specification only, the accuracy, they accurately emphasize the importance, how the project is important, what are the features and parameters we are going to implement. Everything can be easily understood through the requirements. So the various activities involved in requirements management also. So the major activities or the major steps in the requirements engineering is elicitation process. Elicitation means, I think in software engineering also we might have studied software elicitation process. It's an umbrella, a set of umbrella activities. So if you say we are saying a waterfall model, spiral model, the same way, elicitation, software elicitation process is an umbrella activity. It belongs a number of steps and stages. And during the software requirements engineering, the analysis will be done, specifications are identified, validation of the specifications will be done. During the management, what we will do, we will track the versions. Initially, we'll have some list of specification. We can modify, update, then we'll create the version 1. Again, we will update and do some changes. We'll create the version 2. So the versions of the requirements will be available during the management process. And trace the relationship between the requirements and the elements, trace relationship between the requirements of the design, implementation and testing elements, track requirements, attributes, priority, cost, benefit, everything, velocity, everything will be analyzed during requirements management process. There are a number of open source as well as licensed requirements management tools are available. So the tool provides the core functionality for record-based management. We can maintain the record of your software requirement, and we can manage and we can create the versions of your software requirement using the tool. And sometimes also document based. The requirements management testing tool provides specific support for artifact and process of testing, especially in combination with the requirements management, requirements based testing. So we have tools for requirements management as well as requirements management testing. So the various factors or elements considered in requirements management tool is the core enterprise, DOS, caliber, request site pro, slate. So like that, will all the parameters in the project will be taken into consider. And the requirements management can be represented using the V model. The V model of system and the software development shows you the various, say, if you will take the stakeholders requirements, if it is, say, we'll accept the, here we'll start from the unit test. So here the unit test will be done and it verifies whether the architecture is okay. Then if it is satisfied, it goes to module requirements. So in unit test, you will test each and every unit or each and every component of your project. Once the unit test is done, if it is verified, then it goes to module requirements. If the module requirements are verified, then it goes to module test. Then it is module requirements are fulfilled, then it goes to system. So we'll start from unit, then it will go to module, then it goes to system, then it goes to the stakeholders requirements and acceptance testing. So it looks like an everything should be verified and everything should be satisfied. The purpose of requirements management is to ensure product development goals are successfully met. Whether what for we are creating the project and all our project requirements are met or not can be identified by using the V model of our software development. It is a set of techniques for documenting, analyzing, prioritizing, agreeing on requirements so that engineering terms always have current and approved requirements. So here we will check everything, documentation, analyzing, prioritizing, and other aspects. So any doubt with respect to requirements management? What is requirements management? How we are making use of the requirements management tool and the V model of requirements management. Our next topic is software project tracking and oversighting. I think you might have heard the term tracking in where we use the term tracking. Usually the term will be used in logistics, transport. So when your when the goods are transported from one location to another location, when it is in transit, we can check whether it is, say you're sending some item from Chennai to Bangalore. So it takes 5 hours or 4 hours to transport from one city to another city. So in between where the product is, if the product is not delivered in the destination point, what happens to the product? So that can be tracked by using the tracking technique. The same way in postal service also, we can track if you are sending the documents through speed post or registered speed post, you can track where your data is, where your letters are kept. They will provide you a tracking number. The same way, when your project is on execution, you can check where you are in, whether you are progressing through the right path, whether you are traveling through the target or not. So that can be the project software project tracking and oversighting. We will provide you an overview whether we are progressing, the project is traveling as per the specification, whether it will give you the expected outcome or not. So the SPTO, also known as project monitoring and control. So we can use the alternative term project monitoring and control, or project monitoring and control, or too closely hint key process areas. So these project tracking and oversighting and project monitoring and control, tracking, monitoring, oversighting, all are related to key process areas of CMMI model at maturity level 2 of the Software Engineering Institute's capability maturity model integration. So the CMMI models level 2 focuses on the project monitoring and control and project tracking and oversighting. So the SCI CMMI model, so usually we'll say it as CMMI model, Capability Maturity Model Institute, or we will say Software Engineering Institute's CMMI model. Say the ISO is International Standard Organization's certification. The same way CMMI Six Sigma is Software Engineering Institute's capability maturity integration model. It is a maturity level that say emphasizes on software project management. So this tracking and oversighting is in the level 2. Software project planning SPP, and which is closely kin with the SPTO, play a very vital role in software project management process. A software development plan, the output from SPP KPA, software project planning, and KPA, key process areas, is a prerequisite for project tracking and oversighting. So all are interrelated. It means that project monitoring and control can be done through project tracking and oversighting. This is component of CMMI models level 2 managed. Level 2 managed is one of the key process area of CMMI model. The established plan from SPP, KPA are necessary foundation for managing the software project as described in the SPTO, project tracking and oversighting key process area. So why we are using this SPTO means the purpose of software project tracking and oversighting is to provide adequate visibility to actual progress. So whether we are progressing as per the norms or not, are we stuck with any particular plan? While making the project plan itself, we will mention each and every day what we are going to do. Whether we are progressing, we completed the task assigned in the particular day is not, can be assessed using tracking, so that management can take effective action when the software project's performance deviates significantly from the SPP. So if there is any deviation in the project planning and execution, can be identified by using software project tracking and oversighting. The oversight involves the tracking and reviewing the software accomplishment. So whether we are accomplishing the target or not, and the results assigned against document estimates. So what we are maintaining the documents is as per the goal or not, commitments and plans, and adjusting those plans based on the actual accomplishment and results. So what we are actually getting and what is estimated, whether the estimated outputs are obtained, we are progressing as per the plan, project plan or not, can be tracked by using tracking and oversighting. And this tracking and oversighting is in the repeatable level. The purpose of tracking and oversighting is to establish adequate visibility and actual progress. So you can check whether the actual progress is happening in the management, can take effective actions when the software project's performance deviates significantly from software plan. So whether we are progressing as per the plan and the actual progress is happening or not, and the effective actions are taking place or not, can be identified and tracked by using project oversighting. And if you take the software engineering group conducts periodic internal reviews to track technical progress. So we'll be conducting the review meetings to know the technical progress, plans, performance, and issues against the software development. So if any the technical progress is happening, can be checked through the performance and analyzing the issues. And formal reviews to address the accomplishments and the results of the software project are conducted at the selected project milestones according to documented procedure. So the accomplishment is attained or not, software project is conducted, the results are obtained or not, can be milestones are reached or not, can be easily tracked by using project tracking and oversighting. So any doubt so far with the software project tracking and oversighting?
No, ma'am.
So the next topic is the software configuration management. We'll call it as SCM. What is SCM means? Software configuration management. Specification means what we are proposing. Say I'm going to create a project with so and so. This is my software config specification. This is my hardware specification. That is an proposal. And configuration means once you create the project, once the project is created as per the specification, then we will configure while installing the project in the actual on-site. The particular deployed area should have the configuration. Say if I am installing a particular software, my systems, the hardware should support the software with what I'm going to use. So we have to change the configuration according to the software. Is a discipline of managing evolution of complex software systems. So if your software is not a normal one, it needs special configuration. So you have to change your system according to the configuration. Say if you are using a software, that software is not supporting the existing configuration, it needs some special other equipments, audio, video devices, and you need to upgrade your operating system. So everything, the software what we are going to use should be mapped with the existing hardware. It is also defined as the process of controlling and monitoring change to work products. So it is the process of controlling and monitoring the work products. So here the work products are the software, new software, what we are going to deploy in your hardware. A set of management disciplines within a software engineering process to develop baseline. Software configuration management encompasses the following disciplines and techniques of initializing, evaluating, controlling change to software products during and after the software project. So here the management, configuration management means that the techniques of initializing, evaluating, and controlling. Say if you are using downloading a new software called say the scanner, QR scanner. So the QR scanner will ask you, can I use your contacts? Can I use your camera? Can I use your memory? So if you give permission for all those things, then only this software QR scanner will be installed properly in your system. And because so the QR scanner needs your front camera as well as rear camera. Through the camera, you have to scan the QR code. That will be given as input to your software QR scanner, and it will process and it will produce you the output. So whenever you install or use a new software, the software should need some configuration. It expects some hardware configuration that should be established. Software configuration management manages evolving software systems. So any new software is coming into the industry, according to the needs of this new softwares, the configuration are upgraded, controls the cost involved in making changes to the system. So here in software configuration management, what we are going to do means we have to upgrade our system according to the needs of the software, as well as we have to control the cost. Say if you want, you need to spend additional 50,000 rupees. So we will think of whether we can spend the additional 50,000 rupees or we will go for alternative things. So it provides an option for controlling the cost as well as upgrading your system hardware requirements. And the software configuration management is defined as a set of management discipline within the software engineering process to develop the baseline. So here baseline means that the hardware should be compatible with the software. Then only both the hardware and software will work together. Software configuration management encompasses the disciplines and techniques of initializing, evaluating, controlling the change to software products during and after the software project. So the configuration management takes care of how to initialize, how to evaluate and control the changing needs of hardware and software. So usually the configuration will be taken care by the network engineers, because they will configure, they will modify everything according to the new software, or if some errors or mistakes happen, if the software is not working properly, they will change the configuration. Say if you are trying to download some data from the website, the firewall may protect, or it may the pop-ups may block. So it means the configuration is made in such a way that the firewall checks for the incoming data. If something wrong is coming, it will block, or the pop-up blockers will also block unauthorized data. So the major standards available with respect to IEEE for our software configuration management as per the ANSI, American National Standard Institute, is IEEE 828. So this particular number, IEEE 828 configuration will give you the idea of software configuration management plans. It gives you the guidelines. The same way IEEE 1042, it gives the guidelines for configuration management, how to configure the systems according to the changing needs. So these are the two standards proposed by ANSI, American National Standards Institute, ANSI standards for configuration management through IEEE standards. If you take the configuration management, it is a set of management discipline. So here management in the sense, the administration process. So there's the network administrators or system administrators will take care of the configuration. So it is a more of a hardware compared to software. So the hardware should be suitable for running the software. So it is a management discipline within the software engineering process to develop the baseline. So the baseline in the sense, the hardware should be capable of taking care of the software. Description. So the software configuration management encompasses the disciplines and the techniques of initializing, evaluating, controlling change to the software products during and after the software engineering process. So the configuration management should be taken into consideration while developing the software as well as while using the software, or after deploying the software and using it for 6 months, 1 year, every 2 years also, the configuration should be upgraded or it should be maintained. So the ANSI standards used for that are IEEE 828 and IEEE 1042. So the major activities in configuration management is configuration item identification. So what are the items we need? Say whether how many ports we need, how many routers and how many Ethernet cards, what is the additional storage memories, any additional peripherals we need, say the Wi-Fi connection, Ethernet, LAN cables, local area networks. So everything comes into picture, all the hardware components, modeling of the system as a set of evolving components, all the components required for configuring your environment, and the change management. So if you are changing from 4G to 5G, or if you are upgrading your system to 64-bit to 128-bit, so in that case, all the components should be upgraded according to the changing need. Promotion management. So if you are promoting or if you are upgrading, the creation of the versions for other developers. So while the new version is released, according to the new version's needs, changing needs, hardware needs, the configuration should be updated. Release management. While releasing your project, you should clearly state what is the configuration, in which environment, in which configuration your project will work. It is the creation of versions for the clients and users. And branch management, in the management of concurrent development. So if you are developing a project for multinational companies or in core banking or concurrent processing, so it should be deployed in all the domains. Client should have the configuration, client servers should have the configuration, and each and every country should follow the same, you should get the acceptance from the different countries. Say, for example, if WhatsApp is used in so many countries, the WhatsApp should follow the guidelines, rules and regulations applicable to different countries. The rules and regulations in India is different. The rules and regulations followed in China is different. The rules and regulations followed in Saudi or Oman, Yemen is different. So, so the software is used in different countries. It should obey the rules and regulations and the constant rules of the various religious as well as community-based standards of various nations. Then only it can be used or deployed in different countries. And if you take the variant management, is the management of versions intended to coexist. So the people from different places will use different versions of the same software, and the versions will differ. Each version needs a different configuration. Say if some people are using the normal computer, they may make use of even Windows 7. They are using the Windows 7 software till date. But the people, those who are using machine learning, deep learning, and other high configuration softwares, they are using the high configuration systems like i7 or i10, or even GPU processors are used. So these are the various things we need to consider while, or the various activities we have to deploy while performing the configuration management. If you take the process flow diagram of configuration management, say the software configuration management is associated with project management, requirements engineering, programming in large scale, programming in small scale, documentation work, as well as quality assurance. So the configuration management should support all the other components, all other parameters of software engineering and software project management. And you can see the software configuration management is an umbrella kind of activity, or we can say, we will say it is an onion kind of, or we will say the spiral model. It's having so many layers. So say if you take the software configuration management, the innermost is identification, change control, version control, configuration auditing, and reporting. So like that, it's having a number of layers, and each and every one is a subset of each other. So we should follow the entire set of activities. So if you take the software configuration operational scenario, so here the various end users or stakeholders of software configuration management is the project manager, configuration manager, developer, and the user. So the project manager should follow the configuration management things. While developing the project itself, he will do the project as per the configuration. And the configuration manager will show what are the hardware and software configuration we need to follow. The same way the developer should create the software project as per the configuration, and the end user should also have the required software and hardware elements to run the project. So these are the various stakeholders or end users associated with software configuration management. So any doubt with respect to software configuration management?
No, ma'am.
So the next topic is software product organization process definition. So you know very well, organization means the complete organization and the various processes associated with the organization. So the purpose of organizational process definition, OPD, it is also an element, KPA of CMMI model. It is to establish and maintain a usable set of organizational process asserts, work environment, standards, rules, and guidelines for rules and guidelines for teams. So the process definition will give you the various asserts in the sense the entire hardware configuration, work environment, what are the features we need in the working environment, standards, rules, and guidelines. The organization set of standard processes also describes standard interactions with the suppliers, Supplier interactions with are characterized by the following typical items: deliverables expected from suppliers, acceptance criteria applicable to those deliverables, standards, architecture, technology standards, and the standard milestones and progress reviews. So the organization process definition deals with the hardware configuration, asserts environment, as well as the guidelines. If you take the various organizational process asserts, so say we can say the standard processes, life cycle model descriptions, criteria and guidelines, organizations measurement repository, organization process assert library, environment standards, rules and guidelines. So all those things will come under process, the various processes followed in an organization. So what is organization process definition means? The processes areas is responsible for production and maintenance of any process documentation used within the organization. So the various production and maintenance. Say if an organization is an IT, so they will be producing a number of projects and they need to maintain and deliver the software to the various stakeholders. So the various processes under the maintenance activities are stated using organization process definition, the major process. So if you say I am working in an organization called TCS, they will ask you in which platform you are working. Or if I am saying I'm working in TVS or some other company in Himalayan products, they will ask you what is the product. So it means that what they are manufacturing, whether it is in service sector, product manufacturing sector, or medical sector, or IT industry. So the actual process, the actual product development plays an important role to categorize the domain. The areas is directly related to software quality assurance. So this OPD is based on the quality assurance. Appropriate processes are defined within the organization process domain and process area. So the processes should follow the quality standards and quality assurance factors to get the maximum process. The one major process description that is documented in SDLC. So during the software development life cycle, it is important to note that CMMI is a number of SDLCs could document and then chosen is being appropriate for given project. So each and every project will follow the SDLC, software development life cycle model. So through the software development life cycle model, we'll come to know that what is the actual process they are going on. Many people associated with the waterfall model and CMMI, but within the organization process definition, process areas and other SDLC can be defined, including. So the organizations will follow different models because there are thousands of models available in software engineering itself. Say the major models used are usually waterfall model, spiral model, evolutionary development model, incremental model, iterative development model, the same way component development model, agile process, extreme processing. So like that, we have a number of models. Mostly, many of the people are following the waterfall model or advanced version of waterfall and CMMI models. The role of operation organization process definition in organization process would be to make sure that the processes were defined using standard templates. So whatever process we are following, we should follow the standard templates. The universal templates should be used to enter and record the data. If the data is entered in the standard templates, anybody in the anywhere in the world can understand your project. And then project management would select suitable SDLC. So we have to follow the standard software development lifecycle model so that the process will produce you the expected output. If you are following a particular model, if you are following a suitable model, then the output will be as per the expectation. So the raw material may be same, but the output is different for different organizations. Why? Because they are following different process models. If they follow a standard model, the output will be same. The templates are followed, universal templates, standard templates. And if you are following in standard waterfall model or incremental model, through the process, the output differs. Finally, software quality assurance processes and product quality assurance, PPQA under CMMI would verify that the selected SDLC was indeed being followed. So through the organization process definition only, we are checking and cross-verifying whether we are using the standard templates and whether we are following the standard SDLC model in our product development, so that we can expect the expected output. So any doubt with respect to organization process definition? Here we are focusing on the process. Process means the day-to-day activities. So the activities what we are doing will define our output. So we have to follow the standard models, standard SDLC models, and we have to follow the standard templates. Then the output will be universally acceptable. So next topic is software product engineering, SPE. So the software product engineering is also one of the CMMI models key process area. So we discussed about CMMI, Six Sigma, and the development of CMMI and CMMI KPAs. So the content like requirements management, software project tracking and oversighting, configuration management, organization process definition, software product engineering. So peer reviews, quantitative process management, defect prevention, process change management. So all these components are key process areas of CMMI model. So next topic is software product engineering. So what is software product engineering means? It is the process of involving designing, developing, testing, and deploying a software product. So we were talking about software engineering. Now in software engineering also we'll follow the steps, SDLC steps. So the steps will be analysis, design, development, coding, and testing. The same way in process engineering also, in software product engineering also, we are following some standard steps. So the first step is innovating. Innovating means analyzing. So innovating, designing, developing, testing, and deploying. So it is mapped with the software engineering steps like analysis, design, development, coding, testing, and implementation. So that the steps in software engineering is analysis, design, development, coding, and testing. In a software product engineering, here it's common for all products. Products in the sense we'll have some raw material, we'll do some process, and we'll produce the output. So it is applicable to automobile industry, any manufacturing sector, FMCG sectors, fast moving consumer goods, daily say it's applicable to all manufacturing sector. The software product engineering is more than software development. So we can say it is an advanced version of software development. In software development, we will focus only on software development. But in case of software product engineering, it is superset of software development. So we have to consider the software as a product. It goes beyond features and backlogs and emphasizes a broader look at great user experiences and outcomes. So we'll see the software as a product and we'll think about everything: customers, end users, stakeholders, research and development team, media, advertising, the government policies, rules and regulations, certifications. Everything will be put in together, and we will see the thing as software product engineering. The software product engineering is the frontier of digital business. So it is the first before a digital business. So nowadays we are getting C2C, B2B, A to A. C2C means customer to customer, B2C business to customer, and say directly online we are getting the products directly from Amazon, Flipkart, Alibaba. So that is all comes under digital business. Amazon, Flipkart, Jio, Agio. So we have a number of digital businesses. So core difference between software engineering and product engineering is that the latter not only codes but also thinks about the future. In software engineering, we will think about only the software engineering code, how we are going to create the code, what is analysis based on the code, design of the code, writing the actual code, testing the code, deploying the code. So we will think about only the programming project. But in case of product engineering, we'll think about everything. How to product, how to market, how to get the profit, how to make it visible, how to attract the customers, customer analysis, statistical analysis, and getting the market, leading the, reaching the people, increasing the sales, budget, profit. So everything will be put together and we'll see it as software product engineering. And in software product engineering, the people who are associated with the software product engineering is called software product engineer. So it's like full stack developer. The software products, product in software engineers work on the native applications for computers in India particular, and dedicated to working with the larger team to find out what their users need and want. So the engineers will directly deal with the users and needs and wants of the end users, how to solve the user problems through the software. So they have to think about how to solve any end users layman's problem in terms of project, creating the software with their team and managing any updates or corrections to the software, creating the software project, managing it, upgrading it, and making the corrections. Everything should be taken care by the product engineer. And if you take the roles and responsibilities of the skills expected from software product engineer is, a product software engineer needs a variety of technical skills as well as strong soft skills. So because you need to directly deal with the end users, you should have the soft skills to be effective. Some of the skills a product software engineer uses include a strong interpersonal communication. You should be capable of dealing with interacting with all kind of people. Time management skills. You should manage his time effectively. Knowledge of programming languages. You should know the in broader sense, you should know about all the languages. So when a customer is telling some problem, you should think about which programming language can easily solve the particular problem. Problem solving skills. You should have the problem solving skills, ability to analyze data effectively. Whatever data is getting from the end user, you should make it as an effective, how we can convert the data, raw data, into unprocessed information to unprocessed knowledge. Excellent team player. You should be capable of working with the teams, understanding the end users needs, strong knowledge of software engineering processes. We should know about all the process models, software engineering process models, the various aspects, concepts associated with software engineering. Ability to work independently. You should have the teamwork as well as you should be able to work in team as well as you should work individually. So we can say the future of software product engineers, especially the need for software product engineers increased nowadays after the COVID. Say, for example, the global pandemic forced all industries to accelerate digital efforts to reflect changing customer expectations. So many of the digital marketing, online systems come into existence after COVID-19. Even the education sector is transferred to online. Meetings are converted to online. Interviews are conducted online. Exams are conducted online. Everything, even work from home is a major culture. So the software engineer's role is increasing, software product engineer's role is increasing. So he has to transform the manual on-site work into online work from home softwares. Speed and productivity derives outcomes. So the software product engineer should have the speed and productivity as a time to market for digital solutions accelerates. We will see more outcome-based relationships with the service partners. So the outcome-based relationships and service partners come into existence. Shift to co-investments and joint ventures. So nowadays we are getting more joint ventures, collaborations, MOUs, takeovers, mergers. If you take it in management term, there are some common terms. We'll use the terms co-investments, shareholders, takeover, mergers, and we'll say MOUs, partners. So each one, say like company, industry, organization, enterprise. So they are all interrelated, but a little bit difference. The same way, the co-investments, shareholders, stakeholders, mergers, takeovers, they are all management terms with the same partnership concern with a little difference. The collaborative rule will differ. Similar to VC model, clients and partners will collaborate on SPE, software product engineering, bring products to market, embrace shared revenue models, and forge transformational partnerships. I think you might have heard in online, the Meesho app. So like that, there are some apps. So they will not have, even the Ola, they will not have any, they are not having any own car or any vehicle or automobile, but they are providing the service, transport facility to all the end. Without having a single vehicle, they are providing the transport facility for thousands of customers. The same way, if you take the OYO, OYO, so they are not having any, even a single hotel, but they are running a network of hotels. So the Meesho also, they are not manufacturing any product, but they are still selling large amount of products, different varieties of products, different categories of products. It means that they are the dealer. They will purchase the product from the manufacturer. They are dealers. They will get the product and they will deliver the product to the end user's door point. So the digital marketing transformed the way we buy and sell the products. Investments and SPE activities, the accelerate investments, we can expect to see more maturity-based relationships where organization define, design, engineer software. So the software product engineering plays an important role in digital marketing. So this particular diagram shows you how increasing the demand of software product engineers is increasing day by day. So increasing demand for growth. So we'll give importance to the quality, budget, software functionality. So these are the main parameters. So based on actually this particular diagram is based on how to avoid the delay and increase sell the product. So we are getting the product and we will maintain the cost to overcomes and putting the quality, budget and software functionality, all those three parameters, they are delivering the product to the end users, increasing the demand for growth. So any doubt with respect to software product engineering? Software product engineer?
No.
So our next topic is peer reviews. I think we already discussed different types of review techniques, peer reviews, desk reviews. What are the 5 types we discussed? Inspections, audits, peer reviews, desk check, walkthroughs. So those are the 5 methods of review process. So the peer review, the term itself, we can understand peer means the colleague, or we can say if one student evaluates another student's project, gives some feedback, that is a peer review. If one faculty reviews another faculty's data and gives some feedback, that is peer review. So we use the term peer pressure also. If one student is having an iPhone in a class, the other students also like to have the same iPhone. So it means that peer pressure. So if the person in the same level is having some data or having some knowledge or some product, so the other person also likes to have say if one student is having a bike in a college, in a class, so other students will also go and ask their parents, please get me a bike, my friend is having a bike. So that is called peer pressure. The same way in peer review, what we will do, one person, the same level of people, the same class or same project team members will review their projects and they will get anything wrong in the project or not. So it is an unbiased, independent, critical assessment in an intrinsic part of scholarly work. So the peer review is used in the scholarly work. If you are doing one project, you will ask your friend to go through the project or run the project and tell what's his opinion. So it is unbiased. Usually your friends will not say, even the bad things also will say, good things also they will say. It is unbiased, independent, critical assessment, including the scientific processes. Here we'll follow the scientific processes and steps and templates. Peer review is the critical assessment of manuscripts submitted to journals by experts who are not part of the editorial staff. Say if one person is submitting a paper to the manuscript or the journal, they will ask, give the reviewer's name. So they may give their friend's name in the same level or in the college professors or someone. So they will send the paper to the list of peer review persons. They will get the feedback. They will send the feedback to the editorial team. So the two-time review will be done. Editorial board members also will review the paper, as well as the paper will be sent to the third party, other experts, and they will get the feedback. Peer review can therefore be viewed as an important extension of scientific process. So it is a scientific process. Peer review and peer teaching plays an important role. Peer review helps editors decide which manuscripts are suitable for the journals and helps authors and editors to improve the quality of the reporting. And a peer-reviewed journal submits most of the published research articles for outside review. So they will publish their papers will be available and everybody can comment, everybody can give some feedback. Number of kinds of manuscripts sent for review, the number of reviewers, the reviewing procedures, and the users made the reviewer's opinion may vary. So if the same paper is sent to more than 3-4 people, each reviewer will give different set of comments. So through that, we can modify the paper according to the reviewer's comments. If you take the peer review, it's a method or formal. The main difference between peer review and formal design review is here the authority. Participants hold a superior position to project leader. In peer review, the participants are equal to the project leader. So in peer review, the same level of people will review the project. So we can expect the knowledge level will be same. The mindset will be the same. So we can expect good results. A degree of authority can divide whether the project moves to the next stage, not the case in case of peer review. So if you go with peer review, we can easily progress from one stage to another stage through the comments. Objectives, the peer review objectives is to detect errors and deviations. So we can get the idea whether is there any errors in the project or not, any deviation is happening in the project or not, can be easily predicted using peer review. So usually in peer review, we are using two methods, inspection method as well as walkthrough. Inspection means a team of people with the templates and the prerequisite and checklist will come and check whether the specifications are implemented, it's working as per the norms or not. If you take the walkthrough, what they will do, just they will go through the content in a normal way and they will try to analyze the content and they will give their comments. So within the peer review, we have two major types, inspection and walkthrough. The major difference between inspection and walkthrough is that inspections are more formal than walkthroughs. So in inspection, we need to follow the standards and norms. There will be a list of panel members. There will be a reporting format. The inspection should be done as per each and every component should be inspected. The checklist should be verified. Inspection reports will be generated. Exit meetings will be conducted. If any fault is found, we need to update and resubmit the documents. So it is a very formal one. And walkthroughs findings are just comments, whereas the findings in the inspections are used to improve the development methods. So in walkthroughs, what they will do, they will go through in an informal way and they will give their comments and reviews. Why peer review is most important means Any research paper published in the well-respected journal has integrity and therefore can be taken seriously because it has been independently scrutinized by the researchers. And also it is difficult for authors and researchers to spot every mistake in the pieces of the work, and that can be easily identified and traced out by the peer people. It helps to prevent the discrimination of irrelevant findings. So the irrelevance in the paper or in the project can be found. Unwanted claims, unacceptable interpretations, personal reviews, and deliberate fraud can be easily detected using peer reviews. And peer reviews also judge the quality and significance of the research work in wider context. So we can easily judge, and the significance of the project can be found through the peer review process. If you take the major steps in the peer review process, so the first step is submit the draft version of your project. Then Canvas assign peer reviewers in the next day. So the project will be sent to the peer reviewers. Drafts for your review appear and your draft assignment. Click on the author name. File appears along with the comment box. So this is the peer review process used in journal, in peer review journals, how they are evaluating, how they are getting the peer review comments. Reviewers comments is accessed. These are the steps followed. Submit the 2 forms of papers you did under peer review. Reviewers assigned for points. Combine comments from 2 forms. Get from reviewers into 1 form. So all the reviewers will submit their comments, and the comments will be merged together, and that will be sent to the author. The author will do all the updations as per the comments. And in peer review, we have formal peer review called inspection and informal peer review called walkthroughs. So the project manager assigns a reviewer. Findings can be in IPR, intellectual property right, email, annotation, etc. Findings still go in peer reviews. Author updates work products based on the review results, consulting with the reviewers as needed. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Author updates work products based on the review results, consulting with the reviewer as needed. As in informal review follow-ups, the project manager resolves the disagreements over defects and other issues. So if any disagreements or faults, defects are found in the project, that should be intimated to the owner of the paper or intellectual property right. Once all the changes have been agreed to the made, the author forwards the modified work. Once as per the reviewer's comments, we have to upgrade and modify the project or the software product, then it will be forwarded back to the modified work to the project manager, to the configuration management group for inclusion of the project baseline. So these are the steps followed in informal peer reviews. So the peer review is mainly focuses on self-assessment, work visit, focuses on the project development. Say if you, the self-assessment questionnaire, implementation of code of practice, questionnaires on condition in national statistical systems are available. So those can be used for peer review process. Light self-evaluation based on code and practices, documentation needed for all answers, everything is available online, so we can make use of that for peer review process. The same way, the peer review team will have 2 international experts, one representing from the Eurostat, observer from the neighboring country, and 5 days of country visit. So in a peer review process, they will follow some norms. So while evaluating the thesis, while evaluating the project also, we'll have the guide, internal examiner, external examiner, project director, everyone will be there during the final exam or during the review process. So the same way, there will be some internal members, external members, foreign members, the panel members, internal experts, external experts, everyone will be there in the review process. So here, this is an example where how the peer review process is performed in INSAT public organization. So if you take the overall view of peer review process, so create the full request. Then the code review will be done. The code updates will be done according to the review process. Once the review process is over, they merge the full request. So they will do the peer review process for each and every module or each and every component of your system. After reviewing, the updations will be done. Again, it will go back to the review process. So this diagram shows you how the peer review process is done in manuscript journal. If you are sending a paper to an or sending a paper to a journal, how they are doing the peer review process. So the submitting a paper, the journal editor assess your manuscript. Then he will categorize whether the manuscript belongs to the journal or not. Then accordingly, you will identify the experts in your domain of paper. Then they will send the paper to the reviewers. They will single blind, double blind, transparent peer review process will be done. Open peer review will be done. They will get the comments from all the reviewers. Then they will merge. Then they will send the review comments to the author. The author does all the changes and makes upgradations. Again, he will send. If the updated one is again sent back to the reviewers. Once, if the paper is as per the format, then it is published and accepted. If the changes made is not up to the mark, then it is rejected. So any doubts so far in the peer review process? Any doubt? So the next topic is called quantitative process management. I think we have 5 more slides. Shall we continue today or tomorrow we'll continue? What's your opinion? I think your exams are coming soon now.
Yes, ma'am.
We have 2 more topics.
Yeah, ma'am, we can continue.
Next topic is quantitative process management. So far we were discussing about the topics like requirements management, software project tracking and oversighting, software configuration management, organization process definition, software product engineering, software product engineer, peer review process. So all those topics are elements of key process areas of capability maturity model institutes, key process areas. These are the major areas we need to consider while you are going for CMMI 6 Sigma. So the next topic is quantitative process management. Quantitative in the sense measurable, 1 kg, 2 kg, or 1 kilometer to measure some quantity. We can evaluate or we can measure and say how much distance, how much quantity, how much mark you scored. So it is a quantitative process management, how to measure and how to evaluate. The KPM aims to control the process performance, the actual output accomplished by the following software processes of the software project quantity. So if you are executing or if you are running a project, how much time it takes, how much cost it took to develop, and how much, what is the output, throughput. If you are giving some input, how long it takes to process and produce the result, how much data it is taking while running the project, if the project is running cloud. So everything we can measure and we can state the value in terms of quantitative measures. The quantitative process management establishes goals for the performance of the project software process. It involves measuring the performance of software processes. We can measure the performance, analyzing those measurements and making adjustments in maintaining the performance of processes. We can analyze the performance and we can measure the performance. We can make adjustments. If the efficiency is only 70%, we can make it to 80% by changing the code and by adding some extra parameters and maintaining the performance process. So maintaining the level up to the standard is possible through the quantitative process management. After the performance of the process is stable, once we got the expected output and the efficiency within the acceptable limits, the software process of the project and the associated measurements are established in the baseline. So we'll make an constraint. So the project will run in this particular system. We need this, these are the peripherals we need. If the system is run in this particular configuration, then we can expect the expected output. If you are running the project in low configuration, you cannot expect the expected output. The results in the controlling of performance of the software process quantitatively, the goals of quantitative process management are listed below. So these are the major elements we need to consider while going for quantitative process management. To plan the activities for quantitative management, so we have to identify what are the major activities to control the process of performance of the projects, define the software process quantitatively, to identify the process capability of the organization standard and software process in quantitative terms. So we have to take the consideration of organizations capability, how much they can spend, how much money, time, everything they can spend, the cost of the company is ready to spend for the project, that should be taken into consideration. Accordingly, we will plan it out the infrastructure. The QPM to work effectively and efficiently, various entry and exit criteria are defined. So this is the entry criteria and this is the exit criteria. If the project is run in this particular constraint, then only we can expect the output. Those are, along with the task involved are shown in the table. So in the next table, they are showing you how the quantitative process management can be managed. Say we'll have the quantitative process management. Within that, we have identification of the sub-processes, maintaining the variation, and creating the repository. So we have for the given configuration, we have to take the sub-processes and maintaining the variation and creating the repository all places an important role. So in a quantitative process management, we defined entry points, exit points, and task. So the management process will work in a given boundary. So a boundary is fixed. These are the entry conditions. These are the exit conditions. Within the given entry and exit condition, it will perform very nicely. So say, for example, the entry conditions are policy for measuring and quantitatively controlling the performance of project defined processes, policy for analyzing the process capability, organization standard software processes, group exists for coordinating, adequate resources and funding, training for individuals and implementing the supporting, quantitative process management, training for participants, support for collecting and recording the analyzing the data. Say if you are creating a project and the project is given to an organization, and the people who are going to use the project should have the knowledge. So the training should be given to the people. Training for the individuals should be given. Then only they will effectively run your project. And training for the participants, those who are going to participate, should have the knowledge. Say, for example, if you are while conducting the election, also what they are doing, they are giving the guidelines for the voters. They should know how to vote, how to press, how to vote for only one person. And the same way, those who are working in the election booth also, there are so many people, booth head and token givers, like that. There are so many posts in the election going camps. So they will give training to all the people. Then only they will handle the election process smoothly. So the same way, when a project is created, the people, those who are going to make use of your project should be given training, and those who are going to work in the administrative level should be given training, and the configuration needed for running the project should be established. The various resources and funding should be available, and the various performance of the project should be defined clearly. And if you take the task means while executing the project, develop project quantitative process management plan, perform the quantitative process project plan, determine the strategy for data collection and analyzing based on the project processes, collect measurements data and control the project process, prepare and distribute the reports. So based while running the project, end of the project, we have to create reports. How many data we processed, the monthly reports, yearly reports, and the failure reports, transaction report, everything should be generated. Establish and maintain the process capability, baseline for the organization standard software process. Analyze the project's process to bring under quantitative control. So these are the tasks we have to carry out while performing the quantitative process management. The exit conditions are activities are planned, project process performance is controlled, organization standard software process is known, and it is measurable one. So for the given constraints, based on the various constraints, we can measure the process management. And the diagram gives you how it can be measured. Because this quantitative process management is an element of CMMI model, and it is one of the key process area. So we can say so in the initial level, we are not following any key process area. In the repeatable level, we are using the quantitative process management. In level 4, we are using quantitative process management. So any doubt with respect to quantitative process management?
No.
So we were discussing about quantitative process management. Quantitative means we have to measure the quantity. How whether the project is 80% effective, 90% effective, or 100% effective. And the return on, say you are spending 1 lakh for the project, how much return you are getting, return on investment, cost of the project, and what are the infrastructures we need, what are the resources we need, how much training we need to give. So everything should be quantitatively measured. And this quantitative process management deals with all the measurement activities. So it is one of the key process area of your CMMI model in level 4. So as we discussed so far, all these components, requirements management, tracking and oversighting, configuration management, process definition, product engineering, peer reviews, quantitative process management, all are key process areas of Capability Maturity Model Institute. So the next topic is defect prevention. So, I think we already studied some concepts with respect to defect prevention in module 3 as well as module software metrics also we studied. So defect means errors. In general, defect deals with product, not with this. If it is an software based, we'll say it is an error. If it is in general product based, any product, say cooker or a mobile phone or any software products or IT electronic products, how to prevent the defect and how the defect prevention can be implemented in CMMI model, and it is one of the key process area in CMMI model. So what is the defect prevention and the defect deduction means? Prevention is a technique that addresses how to prevent error. So before, if you use a particular statement that will create an error, we should avoid it. So as a senior developer, you may face so many errors or so many problems during the software development process in various projects. So you will, while using a particular statement, while making a configuration or putting some components together, you will come to know if you put this combination, you will get an error. So if you feel that it will create some error in future, then we have to prevent it before it is injected. So that can be done through the root cause analysis of the problem, education and training. So if you have the proper education and training in that particular domain, you can avoid, you can forecast and you can prevent software process maturity and improvement. So if you are following the CMMI model, because you are using the standard model, that will give you a signal. So this will create a problem in future. So the same way defect deduction means once the product is developed, by seeing the product or by analyzing the product, you have to detect here we may find some defect and the result is not accurate, so there may be some error. This particular algorithm is not properly implemented, so there may be some logical error. So like that, we have to detect the techniques address how to find the faults. So the defect detection can be done through the testing, through the reviews and inspections, through the formal verification process. So we have two major concepts, defect prevention and defect detection. Defect prevention is a technique to address how to prevent the error, and defect detection is a technique that addresses how to find out the fault. So you take the defect prevention, it is most defect prevention activities assume that there are known errors, sources or missing or incorrect actions that result in fault injections and as follows. So in a defect prevention technique is done through an assumption. So we are doing the testing, aiming to find out some hidden errors. So the hidden errors can be found or it can be avoided through the defect prevention technique. If human misconceptions or the error sources, education and training can help us to remove those error sources. So if people are having some misconceptions, so if they are having some wrong opinion or some wrong idea about something, so by educating or by giving some training, we can remove the misconceptions. If the people don't know about something, they will think it is wrong. If you properly explain them the advantages, the base usage, say initially when the internet comes, when the nowadays we are using ration cards and all coming in online. So when the manual process is eliminated and the online based electronic cards are given, people felt how it will work out, how it will increase. They felt it is not suitable for them. But after usage, after giving proper training, they accept it. So the same way, the proper training and education will make the people to understand, and we can remove the misconceptions. The same way, one of the defect prevention technique is in prices, designs and implementations that deviate from product specifications or design intentions that cause the faults. Formal methods can help to prevent such deviations. So if they are using in the unstandard techniques, they are not using the proper methods. So by using the formal methods and standardized techniques and implementation methods, systematic approach can eliminate the faults and process. If non-conformance to selected processes or standards is the problem that leads to fault injections, then process conformance and standard enforcement can help prevent injection of related faults. Say for example, in the olden days, there is no traffic rules, there is no any policies. Once the traffic rules, policies are comes into existence, the number of accidents, the unwanted things are easily eliminated. So there should be a formal method, or there should be a process of conformance and standard enforcement that should be applicable to all the people. Then if the people started following the standard rules and regulations, then most of the unexpected errors can be easily eliminated. The next one is if certain tools, technologies can reduce fault injections under similar environments, they should be adopted. If you started using the tools and major technologies that can increase the time, that can eliminate the that will reduce the cost, time and energy of people, that will automate the process. By automating the process in a systematic way, we can prevent the defects. If machines are used, most of the defects can be easily, because the defects, machines will not purposefully do any wrong thing. It will do what we are giving, it will work as per the instructions. So by automating the things, by using the systematic approach, many of the tools and techniques can eliminate the defects. So these are the major techniques which we can implement to provide defect prevention. So the diagram shows you how the defect prevention can be done in different levels of your software project development. Say for example, here they are taking testing defects, coding defects, design and planning defects, requirements defects. And the customer requirements are put into the code. So we are taking 10 customer requirements. We are collecting the requirements, software requirements from the end users. All the requirements are put into the defect prevention technique. So during the initial stage, the defects in the requirements can be easily detected in the baseline itself, in the filter one itself. And the design and planning defects can be eliminated through the defect filter 2. The same way coding defects can be eliminated in the level 3, filter 3. The same way testing defects can be eliminated in the filter 4th filter. So by performing the defect, implementing the defect prevention techniques in different levels and different layers, the end product can come out without any defects. So we can expect 99.9 bug-free product if we follow all the defect prevention techniques. So we need to implement the defect prevention techniques in each levels of your project development during the requirements, design and planning, coding, testing. The same way, we have two phases, defect prevention phase and defect detection phase. First, the defect detection can be implemented once the product is developed, and the prevention can be prevention methods can be implemented during the project development. So during the requirements collection, analysis, design, implementation, during this stage, we can apply defect prevention methods. So we can avoid the upcoming errors using prevention phases. And once the product is developed, project is ready, then we have to go for testing. Then we will try to find out the hidden errors. So performing the testing process to identify the defects is called defect detection. And prevention means during the creation of during the coding stage of your project. So any doubt with respect to what is defect detection and defect prevention?
No, ma'am.
So from this diagram also you can easily understand we have two stages, defect prevention. The prevention techniques can be applied during requirements analysis, design and implementation, and the detection can be done once the project is developed. During the testing phase and release maintenance phase, we can go for detection. So if you take the definition of defect prevention, it is a strategy applied to the software development life cycle that identifies root cause of defects and prevents them from recurring. So our aim is to avoid the hidden errors and defects. If once you eliminate the hidden errors, that will not occur once again. So the recurrence of defects can be eliminated through the prevention methods. It is the essence of the total quality management. So this software defect detection is an total quality management, TQM. So we were talking about SQM, software quality assurance, QA quality assurance, QC quality check, quality control. So the same way we were talking about ISO, CMMI model. The same way the total quality management is another major technique. So this defect prevention and detection will come under total quality management. So there are 5 general activities of defect prevention. So the major 5 activities are software requirements analysis, reviews, defect logging and documentation, root cause analysis and preventive measures, and embedding the procedures to software development process. So these are the major activities we need to carry out while performing the defect prevention. So any doubt so far with the defect detection and prevention? So the last topic is a process change management. So if you found something is wrong in the project, so just by if the mistake or error is very small, we can go for detection, prevention, testing, peer reviews, inspections, and these are the techniques and methods that can be used to eliminate the error. But if the error is very big, we cannot able to, we need to do so many changes, then the process change management is the best method. We have to change the entire process. If you are following a software waterfall model, if it is producing more errors, then change it to agile method or change it to component based development method based on the project. So the process change management deals with changing the entire process. Here process means analysis, design, development, coding, and testing. So those are the major process areas. The entire process area, the model or template what we are following should be replaced. Say if I am following the waterfall model, I should go back to, because it's not having the feedback process. If I go with the spiral model or win-win spiral model, or if I go with object-oriented model, that may produce me a big good result. So changing the entire process is called process change management. The entire process cannot be changed in a single day. So we need to follow a number of steps. So there we need to get the acceptance from the higher the organization owners, the VPs, and we have to educate the people, workers, and we have to compromise the end users. Say for example, if you take the, I think we had Motorola of mobile phones long back, more than 15 years back. So they were, what is Motorola phones? Any idea? They were manufacturing only CDMA based mobile phones.
Yes, ma'am.
No, yeah, now what we are using the smartphones and Android, we are Android based. So they were only concentrating on CDMA based mobile phones. So that is a touchpad and buttons. So the CDMA technology cannot withstand for a long time. So they were strong only focusing on CDMA based mobile phones. They cannot able to withstand in the along with the Android mobiles. So they closed the CDMA mobiles. Now they also switch over to, now the Motorola phones are coming with Android technology. So it means that the entire process is shifted from CDMA technology to Android technology. The same way, I think in automobile sector also, they were using some old kind of engines. When the government norms changed from that, when the government stopped, not given the approval for using those kind of engines, everyone needs to go for the new technology. I think they said some engine name, so they need to follow the particular engine, compression engine or some engine. So the old engines, they had a big plans with the manufacturing of those kind of engines, but they cannot make use of those engines. They cannot manufacture the engines using those equipments. Many of the automobile sector, they stopped those kind of engines. They replaced the machines to manufacture the new engine models. I think because the old engines produced a lot of pollution and toxic. They released a lot of toxic. Created a lot of air pollution, and the toxicity of the environment is increased. The emissions from the engines. So they stopped. The government's not given permission to manufacture those kind of engines. So they need to shift over from one particular technology to another new kind of technology. So changing the entire process is called process change management. Say what is process change management means, the organizational change refers broadly to the actions of business task to change the or to adjust to the significant components of its organization. So the actions, business task must be changed to significant components. So they need to shift over from one process to another process. So say the same way we can say in the olden days, they restricted the students to not to bring mobile phones, even college students. Even college students also should not bring mobile to the campus. Yeah, that is BTech level students, MTech level students also. If they have any mobile, that will be chased by the organization. But now it's entirely changed. Students are learning through mobiles only. Completely it's online. So the same way, because of the policies or because of the pandemic or because of the changing culture, some technology will not work out for a long time. The same way we can say, in olden days they were using the camera films. They will have negative, positive. I think so the major manufacturer of film rolls in Kodaikanal, Konark, or some, they were manufacturing in only the. Now after coming, we started using the mobile phones, cameras, digital cameras. Now the film roll, negative based film camera rolls are not used. So everything become digital. The company is now closed. So the same way, if a new technology comes, if the old technology is not used by the people, then if you want to stand in the market, you need to change your entire process. This may include company culture, internal processes, underlying technology. So it may be a technology change or cultural change or internal process change or infrastructure change or cooperative hierarchy or another critical aspect. So that the process management, change process management is based on changing the culture or changing the internal process, underlying technology or infrastructure. Organizational change can be either adaptive or transformational. So they may give some adaptive changes or it may be totally transformed. The same way, if you take the adaptive changes are small, gradual, iterative changes. So it will, the changes will go in a slow, progressive way that an organization undertakes to evolve its products, processes, workflows, and strategies over time. Hiring a new team member to address increased demand in implementing a new workforce, work from home policy to attract more qualified job applicants are both examples of adaptive changes. So they will, nowadays they are hiring the work from home policy so that they will get a number of, the people will be ready to work from home. They will get more employees. If you take the transformational change, they are larger in scale, scope, and often significantly dramatic and occasionally sudden departure from the status quo. So there will be a sudden change. It will be totally revamped, launching a new product or business division or deciding to expand internationally and examples of transformational change. So the technology has to be completely changed. The process method should be completely changed. Everything should be changed within short term. That is called complete transformation. If you take the management of change, so it's having request for change. If you want to change anything in an organization, first we have to place a request. Then the impact analysis will be done. Then approval or denial will be done. Then implementing the change will happen, and review and reporting will be done. Whether the changed method gives you the perfect result or not, that will be identified. So it is a systematic approach to organizational changes within the aim of ensuring the continued safety of workforce throughout the process. Those systematic processes ensures that the change is dealt with the proactive fashion. So the people will accept the changes in a proactive manner. So if you take the process change management, it is the process of guiding organizational change to earliest stages of conception and preparation through implementation and finally to resolution. So usually the change management during the early stages of when the organization is established, within 6 months or 3 years or 1 year, we can easily do the changes. If the organization is running for last 20 years or 30 years, making big changes will take long time. And the change processes have a set of starting conditions. Yeah, say there will be a starting condition, point A, and a functional endpoint. So we will start from A and we need to reach the objectives and goal. The process is between dynamic and unfolds in stages. Here is a summary of the key steps in the change process management. So these are the steps we need to follow while making any change process management. First, we will place the request, analyze the impact, the change process impact should be analyzed. Approval by the higher up should be done. And once it is approved, we'll go for the implementing the change. Once the change is implemented, we will analyze, report whether the change is giving you the perfect result or not. The diagram shows you the software change management process. So we'll have software test process, then software request process that will be given, both will be taken into consideration, and that will be given to validation check to be completed. So once the validation is considered, then it will go to the validation check, where we will take the procurement suite, software test certificate, and software change request. So those things will be taken into consideration. Based on the testing, they will give some suggestions. these things should be changed. Then the change manager will take some action. The software change validation form will be fulfilled. Then software has not been tested, no license contact to justify change. So they will check for the conditions. Why we are going for change? Because the software has not been tested. If it is not tested, then it is not in a position to be tested, or any certification, no license contract to justify the change. So you're not getting the certification or licensing. Software change needs a validation check. So based on those conditions, they will go for they will start from point A, they will try to reach the point B. Source to destination. In between, we are making so many checking conditions, whether the change management is possible or not. So we just to go through the topics, whatever we discussed. So the last topic is process change management. Here we discuss what is change management, why we need it. And within the process change management, we have two types, adaptive change and transformational change. Example for both. Then the various steps followed in change process management. And what is the definition for change process management? Then the flow of change process management. So these are some of the references, YouTube references for change, what is change management and how it does, and project tracking, and change management the same way. So you just go through the videos, you will get some more idea. And based on this unit, I have given you one assignment. Just you try to find out the answers for these questions. Illustrate CMMI, Six Sigma, and key process areas followed by CMMI model in a real-time example. You take some real-time example, maybe on a project which deals with the core banking or online transaction. State the role of software project tracking and oversighting, SPTO, and software configuration management, SCM, with a case study. You take a small case study. It may be an online reservation system, or it may be an small app development project, how the project tracking and oversighting can be done. So these are the topics we discussed today. So in this module, we have two major topics: quality standards. There we discussed basic concepts of ISO 9000 and 9001 and CMMI Six Sigma model. The second topic deals with the CMMI Six Sigma model and its key process areas. So here we discussed what is the definition of CMMI model, Six Sigma, and the 5 levels of CMMI model, and the history of CMMI model and its variations and versions, and the key process areas. And just to be illustrated the key process areas with respect to the 5 levels of CMMI. Then we discussed each and every key process area, like requirements management, project tracking and oversighting, configuration management, process definition, project engineering, peer reviews, walkthroughs, inspections, quantitative process management, defect prevention, process change management. All those things are key process areas of CMMI model. So you go through the topics, the PPT is already uploaded. So if you have any doubt, you will have a doubt clarification section or one more revision class. So that time I will explain you. So all of you got the timetable, you've gone through the timetable. Have you gone through the timetable? Your exam starts from 24th March.
Yes, ma'am. Regarding that, ma'am, we have to do the payment of that 2,000 rupees.
Yes, they have given you a notification. In that they clearly mentioned how much you have to pay, in which because you need to pay an exam fee. So the fee,
when we go, we don't see any fee there, ma'am. Same for Amazon, same for.
They mentioned. They mentioned two things. Na? You need to pay 1,000 rupees for some notification I shared with you yesterday.
Yes, ma'am. In that link, they have one link they have given. In that link, when we log in, we don't see any details there.
You have to choose your name. So you that is online SPI online, na?
Yes, ma'am.
So in that you can find, I think you have to choose your, you have to calculate your amount. So you are writing 5 subjects, na? 5 subjects and 6 subjects and 2 labs. So everything you have to pay fee. That I think that data you can collect it from Mageshwar also. They will be knowing well.
Okay.
So otherwise I will check it out. I will check it out how much you have to pay. I think you have 6 subjects and 2 labs. How much you have to pay? You paid the tuition fee, na? The same way you have to pay the amount, and you have to get the receipt, that payment receipt and reference number that you have to bring. Then because it's online descriptive, you will come and collect your all ticket.
Okay.
You will come and collect your all ticket. Then only you can write the exam.
Okay.
So you have to get the no dues from the department, and you have to collect the all ticket from the department. It's online descriptive only. So then you need to pay the fee. I will check it how much you have to pay, and the mode is same as tuition fee payment. For entire first semester, how much you have to pay, I will check it out. Then I will message how much you have to pay. And I am posting the placement data. No? You people are registering or not? Naveen, you are interested in placement. You are looking for placement, or you are satisfied with your job?
No, ma'am. Currently, I'm not looking for placement.
Currently you are not looking for job.
No, ma'am.
What about Ahmed? You are looking for job?
Yes, ma'am.
Then whatever form I am sending you, Google, I am sharing you in WhatsApp and Gmail, na? So those forms we have to fill with before the due time. So if they are sharing some new forms, so today also I received 3 job placement data from placement cell that I will share with you. So they are giving you a very short time. So some forms you need to fill within 10:30, 9:30. Today itself, you should fill it before 1 o'clock. You try, you fill it out because the forms are having they are asking you very less data, just user number, email, phone number, that's all. So you just fill it out, and you check for whether the profile what they are given is suitable for you, whether they are asking cloud based engineer or testing engineer. So you check whether you are interested in the company as well as the job profile. You would apply, they will shortlist you, they will call you for interview. Then only you can get the job. The same way Rahul also. Rahul is here, and many of the companies are multinational companies. You can work anywhere. It's not an issue. You need not. Many companies, even Japanese companies, are also coming. So once you are selected, shortlisted, the visa processing, everything they will take care. The company will provide you the visa, job visa, as well as they will provide you everything. So you need not worry. Even Japanese companies, they are providing the visa as well as flight tickets, everything.
Okay.
So you need not think I am not in India, I am somewhere. Yeah, I think you are in India, Bangalore only. So you don't need to worry, need not worry about anything. So you first apply. They will call you for shortlist you. They will conduct online exams, conduct personal interviews. And then through, if you follow the steps, then only you will be placed. They will give you all the guidelines, and they will provide you all the visa and other data. They will get you the clearance. You need not worry about the visa and other things. Okay.
Okay,
And
ma'am.
your lab, your OOPS Java is over now. You have 2 labs now. One is OOPS Java, another one
MATLAB.
MATLAB, machine learning. That also over, huh?
MATLAB, they are doing, ma'am. Actually, 2 more experiments are there.
Who is taking neuromorphic computing?
Manjunath, sir.
And OOPS Java also Manjunath sir, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
And software engineering, Shomshekhar sir, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
MATLAB, who is taking MATLAB?
Priya, ma'am.
Okay. And your neuromorphic computing another lab? 4 paper
MATLAB,
lab?
only MATLAB and OOPS lab we have. OOPS lab is by Manjunath, sir, and MATLAB is by Priya, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Okay, and I will share with you the question bank for our software quality assurance. The question bank and answer key I will share with you. And
Okay.
you go through the PPTs whatever I given, and you concentrate on the question bank. You prepare well, definitely, and you can write the answers on your own. The thing is, you have to remember, understand. You can write the answers on your own, and the diagrams also you can mention on your own. But under the things, say if you are writing about CMM, you have to follow the 5 steps, and you have to mention the stages. So the keywords, standards, ISO, IEEE alone you have to write as it is. The general explanation, examples, diagrams, that and all you can write it based on your understanding. Anyhow, today I will upload you the question bank and answer key. And if you need anything else, or if you want additional classes or any clarification, we'll have another class. Tomorrow also, tomorrow I have exam duty. So afternoon, if I am free tomorrow, I will conduct class. Okay.
Okay.
And one more thing, you sent an answer sheet format, right, ma'am? Do we have to take printout that or?
Yes, yes. Your mock test is scheduled on 21st March, Monday, I think so. So
Yes, ma'am.
what you have to do is they will give you an already the third semester students we gave the instruction. The thing is they sent you an answer sheet template now that you have to take printout. Otherwise, if you are using your own paper, white paper or ruled paper, in that ruled paper, whatever the headings are given in the answer sheet template, that you have to write in each and every page. That is your USN number, your name, student name, and I think the subject name, subject code should be written in the top, top of the paper. So you have the papers which you are going to use for your exam. You take some 20 or 30 papers. In all papers, you write down the USN number, your name, and the subject name, and the date of exam. And when you get the question paper, when you log into the system, you mentioning your USN number and your date of birth as login, you will enter into the question paper. In the question paper, before starting the exam, you can see a reference number. So it means that the reference number is your question paper reference number. That question paper reference number should be written in your answer sheet.
Okay.
I think it's a 6-digit number. That number also you have to write in each and every page, like USN reference number, your name, subject name should be written in the top of all the answer sheets. You write the answer in the answer sheet. So you read the first question. I think you will get 8 questions. I think no subdivisions, I think so. 8 individual questions. The first question is from first unit, second question is from second unit, third and fourth from third unit, fourth and five from fourth unit, 6, 7 and 8 from fifth unit. Like that, equally the questions are distributed. And you have to write, out of 8 questions, you have to write answer for any 5 questions. So you write the any one question. Say you are answering first question, you mention you write the USN number, your name, subject name, and the question paper reference name in the top. Below that, you mention the question 1. You write the question or heading of the question. Write the question number properly. Write the answer for the first question in the answer sheet as you will write in the exam. Write down the complete answer. If the answer is going for 3 pages, after writing all 3 pages, you take the picture of your answer sheet. While taking the picture, you put some light and other things, make it in a brighter place. Take the clear picture of your answer sheet. Your first question answer is in 3 sheets or 4 sheets. You take all the 4 or 5 sheets as picture, save it into, I think you need to upload the answer in not in PDF, JPG or PNG form. So if you can able to possible, you can merge all the pictures. Otherwise, you upload all the 4 pictures of your first question. You click on the first question, you will get a link, upload the answers. You choose the first 3 pictures, answers for the first question, upload all the 3 pictures and save it. Same way, you start writing the answer for the second question in the answer sheet with the same format, USN number, your student name, question paper reference number and subject name. Write the answers in your hands, pen and pencil, you write the answer in the answer sheet. Once your answer is over, take the picture, then upload it to the second question. Don't write all questions, all 5 questions. At last you are taking picture, at last you are uploading. And even third semester students, even second year MTech students, they had the same online descriptive exam. Many of them wrote answers for all 5 questions. At last, they uploaded the answers, but due to some technical issues or some issues, they cannot able to upload all the answers at a time. So once you complete the answer for first question, that time itself you upload the answers. You keep the answer key papers separate. Then write answers for the second question or third question. You take the picture. Once the answer is complete, take the picture, upload it. Write the answer for the, you need to write answer for any 5 questions. Each question carries 20 marks. You will be given 3 hours time. So as soon as you finish the answer for any particular question, you upload the answers. If you keep all 40 pages with you, and if you are trying to upload all the answers, you may get confused. Which picture is belongs to which question also you get confused. So as soon as you finish the answer, you start uploading. If all students, I think in MTech we have more than 100 students. If all 100 students are trying to access, even BTech students are writing answer exams, trying to access the server, it may not accept sometimes. It may create some. So the thing is, as soon as you finish the answer for any question, you take the picture and upload the answers. So like that, you have to answer for any 5 questions. So that is the procedure. And they will give you a clear instruction and how to face. They are giving a model test on coming 21st March. You should attend. Then only you will come to know how to. That will give you how to access, how to upload, how to read the question, and how to save, how to check whether you have uploaded all the questions, answers, whatever you uploaded is saved or not. That idea you will get if you attend the mock exam. So the mock exam is scheduled on 21st. All of you try to log. I shared with you your USN and login. USN number as your login ID, and password is your date of birth, DDYMMYYY format. You log into the system, then you try to attend. Once the exam starts by 10, and if it ends by 1 o'clock, the server will be down. After that, it will not accept any answers. So before that, the final 5th question, you have to finish it up by the 12:50 itself, and you have to upload the answer for the last question, 12:55 itself. And you can use another 5 minutes for checking whether you uploaded all, whatever you uploaded is added or not. There is an option to add and delete the content, what you uploaded. Everything is there. So you attend the mock exam, then you will come to know how to face the exam. Okay. Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
You can ask your madam also. Now Chandama is contacting you. Otherwise you can ask Mageshwar also how much fee you have to pay, how to produce. You need to get the all ticket or not. That your details you can get it from sir.
Okay.
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 Okay. Shall we end the class?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you.